They say miracles come when you least expect them, but sometimes they don't arrive in flashes of lightning or voices from the heavens. Sometimes they arrive with fur, whiskers, and golden eyes that seem to see your soul. It is August. The summer air in northern Niger was dry and relentless. Dust painted the horizon a dull orange. The refugee camp stretched like a weary sigh across the land. Tents, makeshift shelters, and hundreds of tired eyes filled with the weight of survival. Dr. Malcolm Nduka stepped out of the overcrowded van, adjusting his stethoscope. He had volunteered for a 3-month mission with Med Relief International, offering free medical aid in the camp. It wasn't just about giving back. It was also a way to silence the noise in his head, the debt collectors, the long shifts, the whispers of self-doubt. Dr. Nduka, a voice called. A tall woman with braided hair in scrubs waved from the tent entrance. I'm Nurse Rukaya, we've been waiting. He smiled, grateful for a friendly face. You can just call me Malcolm. They shook hands and the work began. Every day was an avalanche of fevers, coughs, malnourished children, and dehydration. Malcolm moved like a machine, efficient, focused, but inside he was unraveling. One evening, as he finished suturing a wound on a young boy, he noticed a small orange cat sitting near the tent's entrance. It was scrawny, with one torn ear and piercing amber eyes. It didn't meow or purr, it just watched him. Rukaya, Malcolm asked, pointing, is that your cat? She laughed. That cat? No one owns it. It's been around for weeks, comes and goes, doesn't let anyone near. But as she spoke, the cat walked, no, strutted, toward Malcolm and coiled at his feet. Well, that's new, Rukaya said, wide-eyed. Malcolm chuckled, reaching down to stroke its back. It didn't flinch. In fact, it purred like a tiny engine. That night, the cat followed Malcolm to his tent, and every night after, he named it Whiskers. The camp became a little less heavy. Malcolm found himself talking to Whiskers when no one else was around. I owe 15 million naira, he did mutter, massaging his temples. I've been working extra shifts, night calls, private clinics, and still it's like I'm swimming in cement. Whiskers will blink slowly, coil beside his cot, and drift into sleep. Sometimes Malcolm would laugh. What kind of cat are you? You're not even interested in food, just me? One afternoon, while treating a patient under the tree near the medical tent, an old man sat watching him intently. His name was Baba Haliru, a refugee from Mali with quiet eyes and a walking stick. You have a guardian, Baba Haliru said suddenly, his eyes fixed on Whiskers. A what? That cat. He chose you. Malcolm smiled politely. I think he just likes my scent. No, the old man said. Some animals are messengers, ancient ones. He didn't follow you because of your smell. He came because your spirit cried out. Malcolm blinked. You believe in that sort of thing? The old man gave a knowing nod. There are things beyond the stethoscope, young doctor. You will see. Weeks passed. Whiskers became part of the medical team, lounging near sickbeds, curling around children's legs, and always returning to Malcolm's side. Then came the day everything changed. It was a blistering afternoon. Malcolm was organizing supplies in the back tent when he heard Whiskers meow, loudly and repeatedly. That was odd. The cat was usually silent. Whiskers, he called. The cat ran a few paces ahead, stopped, looked back. Are you trying to get me to follow you? It meowed again, urgently. Curious, Malcolm followed Whiskers past the tents, beyond the boundary fence, and into a thicket of shrubs near an abandoned storage hut once used by the military. Whiskers leaped through a hole in the wall. "Are you serious?" Malcolm muttered. Inside, he found rusted boxes, broken crates, and then, beneath a loose plank on the floor, Whiskers began to claw. Malcolm knelt, pried the plank open, and stared. It was a metal box. Inside, several bundles wrapped in plastic, bundles of cash. Stacks of unfamiliar currencies, CFA francs, euros, and even US dollars, weathered but preserved. He gasped. What is this?" He brought back the box to Rukaya and the local camp officials. The news exploded. Apparently, years ago, warlords had passed through the area. One commander had looted a foreign aid convoy. Rumors said he did bury the money before escaping across the border. No one ever found it until Whiskers did. Malcolm was hailed as a hero for his honesty, but deep inside he was torn. That money could have wiped out his debt. That night he stared at Whiskers. "You really picked me. But why?" he whispered. "Why show me the money only to hand it over?" Whiskers purred, rubbed against his hand, and slept. The next morning, Malcolm was summoned by the camp director and two representatives from Med Relief International. The older representative, a stern woman with silver hair, spoke first. "We have informed international authorities. Some of the recovered money will be returned to rightful organizations, but a portion has been cleared for humanitarian use. And for you," the second added, handing Malcolm an envelope. He opened it. It was a grant letter. An international humanitarian foundation, touched by his integrity, was offering him full funding for a medical specialization of his choice, plus a personal financial grant. The total? Enough to clear his debts and start a small clinic of his own. Malcolm cried that night, not out of sadness, but relief, overwhelming, aching relief. Whiskers licked his face, curled beside him. You really are something else," he whispered. A few days later, he sat again with Baba Haliru. "That cat, was it really a coincidence?" Malcolm asked. The old man chuckled. "I told you, he is old. He listens to prayers. Not all prayers rise loud. Some come as a sigh or a weeping heartbeat. He heard yours." "Where did he come from?" Baba Haliru's face grew serious. "He was seen once, 10 years ago, after a fire swept this area. A child had gone missing in the smoke. The people searched for hours. Then, this very cat, same torn ear, same amber eyes, led them to the child's body beneath rubble. They buried the child and the cat vanished." Malcolm's breath caught. "Why did he come back?" The old man looked into the distance. "Perhaps he came back for you." When the camp rotation ended, Malcolm prepared to return to Lagos. The staff threw him a small farewell party. Children clung to his legs, and even the toughest men nodded their thanks. He looked for Baba Haliru, but the old man was gone. "Left early this morning," Rukaya said. "Didn't say where." Whiskers hopped into the van beside Malcolm. "You're really coming with me, huh?" He laughed. Back in Lagos, Malcolm's life transformed. The grant paid off his loans. He specialized in pediatric trauma care, and with the rest of the money, he opened a community clinic offering free services on weekends. Whiskers stayed with him through it all. One rainy evening, as Malcolm was closing the clinic, a letter arrived. It had no return address. Inside was a single sheet of paper, handwritten in delicate script. To the one whose spirit cried softly, "The world needs more healers like you," you honestly lit a beacon. Remember, not all angels have wings. Some work on pearls. A friend. He stared at the paper for a long time. Whiskers purred on the windowsill, staring out at the city lights. Malcolm walked over and whispered, "Are you still watching over me?" The cat then answered,